I don't know if it's okay to admit this in this day and age, but for as long as I can remember, my fantasy and my dream was to have my own family. I wanted a husband and kids from a very young age. And I think part of it was having been brought up in such a happy household. We had an amazing childhood. So I wanted that for myself because I saw it as an accomplishment, not an obligation. So I turned 18, finish high school, get into university, and the whole time I'm in university, my parents rent for me an apartment outside school. But from Thursday to Monday morning, I'm a wife. A wife in training. So I didn't even I probably clubbed not even 5 times my entire uni time. I didn't go clubbing. I was there, nafuanguo. I remember once I was at a family function, and I think by this time the family knew about my boyfriend. So my auntie says, I hope you don't wash his clothes. What she doesn't know is, by the time I've gotten to that family function, I made sure that by the time I left his house, he had been cooked for and had his clothes washed. And I was hand washing. I was not using a machine. Why are you clapping? So the crazy thing is that I remember feeling envious when I'd see a pregnant student in school. Like, I had romanticized the idea of, like, you're in class and, your belly's here, like, so cute, adorable. But because I was not rebellious, for me, I always wanted to toe the line, and I never wanted to go against my parents' expectations of me. So I waited. Then I finish uni, I start working, and then I get proposed to. I sprint down that aisle. I was in a black dress, but still I sprinted. So I start to, I try to settle. I get married. I try to settle in this new family of mine now that I've created. And then adulting humbles me. It comes at me hard. It just wasn't what I expected at all. Now, remember in uni, from Thursday to Monday, where am I? Wifing. Now, when I'm a wife, I used to try as much as possible to go back home. Because I used to be like, what life did I live? I left, and a good roof over my head. I left being taken care of. Just, having your parents there. There's a certain care that it's different when you have to do everything yourself. I was very humbled in that marriage, and I realized that, I remember clearly the first night we had the D word brought up, and you'd expect that I'd be heartbroken, but that was the first night in years. I slept through the night without waking up to ruminate on my misery. So the next day in my head, I'm like, I am not turning back, like, freedom is coming. Then fast forward, and it comes a time, now I have to tell my parents. And the scary thing is, I'm telling my parents, who by this point have been married for 30 plus years. So because my dad was always the softie of the family, I was sure he'd be super supportive from the beginning. And African moms and aunties, they wear their perseverance as a badge of honor. So I knew my mom would flip, but it ended up being the opposite. From the very beginning, my mom had my back. I remember from the moment I had that discussion with her, that, we've agreed to separate, she was super supportive. My dad, on the other hand, he was like, how can you leave each other over small things? So I start to ask myself and wonder what this guy has been forgiven for in the past. Will you tell me?
Many things.
Yeah, he was an absentee for 2 years, you've heard. So he's a reformed deadbeat. Forgive him. Yeah, anyway, so I have an amicable divorce, and then I turned 30. And for many of us, 30 is that age where now you're an adult in capital letters. Like, it just feels like there's no going back. So the decade of my 30s, I've experienced a lot of loss and a lot of gain. I've lost friendships, opportunities. I've been robbed. I've been conned. I've even lost one of my sisters here when she disowned me during a fight. We are good now. You don't know? She does. You. Dad, do you remember? But in all this, I feel like my losses have led to even bigger gains. I've gained wisdom, a lot of lessons, lawyers' contacts, police contacts. Just today, she needed a police, and I went through my list, and I realized I have contacts from police in Karen to Kayole. So adulting for me has just been embracing that loss comes with a lot of gain. But the biggest thing I've gained is a new family, and even this family of origin, which, gosh, we've gotten so close. I would not even have expected that even after the loss of my mom. Just seeing my dad step into that role of, being mom and dad, I have gained so much, and it makes me like it here. It makes me like this journey of adulting.
Thank you. Well done. You did it without notes. Yeah.